Hey y'all, it's your girl AARI. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a boho braid, a boho knotless tutorial. It can be called a lot of things. We can call it boho braids, we can call it gypsy braids, we can call it pick and drop braids, we can call it tree braids, we can call it a lot of different braids. Regardless, these are all human hair braids. So all I used was my actual hair, of course. And then the curly pieces are all human hair as well. And I got them from Wigs. It's 3 bundles. All of the 3 bundles are in my head. Anyways, enough of me talking. Let's get into the materials we'll need and then the tutorial. So here's everything that I use for these braids. First, I had this braiding hair rack. My sister got it from TikTok shop, but I'll try to link it below. And then I have Wigs. This is the hair that I use. 3 bundles, 20 inches. And I'll have the color and everything. All the descriptions is in the bio. Also the link with the discount code if you're interested. But yeah, I actually really love this hair. I was originally thinking about just doing like a natural black, but I'm glad I went this route. Then I used some braiding gel. We used some clips and a comb. And then lastly, I had this mousse. So let's get into the tutorial. Now I am starting with my hair halfway done, but this is actually my first time ever doing braids on myself, so I needed to have a day of me just doing my hair by myself without a camera, you know. So it actually took me 3 days to do these braids. Like I said, it's only my first time, that's why. So this is actually day 2, and this is how I install them. So first, I go ahead and I braid my roots a couple times, probably like 4 times before I go ahead and feed some hair into it. And then really, me learning how to feed the hair was the easiest part. It was just having the right angle when I was like towards the back of my head, really. What I found was easier is to have the end of the added hair, put that into the middle of the braid, and then you just braid per usual. Now what I was doing was flipping it up, but sometimes depending on where you are in the braid, it will come back down to where the clips came in handy. But I typically went ahead and I added about like 6-7 curly pieces in each braid along the length, and then I would go ahead and start feeding in the hair at the ends because I wanted curly ends as well. So really I was braiding it to the length of my hair, and once my hair was all the way covered and then some is when I will go ahead and tie a knot at the end. Don't worry, I will show you a few angles as well as some close-up angles so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. But that's typically what I just did for my entire head. I also did pre-part my head before even doing this. You don't have to do that. That was just easier for me because it's my first time. I need to have each and every part already kind of done so the process can go a lot faster. But here's a close-up of how I start the braids. I have my mom helping me behind me just because I had somewhere to go this day and like an hour, so I need help just covering up the top of my head so I can still walk out the house and look presentable. Okay? Okay. But as you can see, I'm putting the hair in between that second piece, that middle piece, before starting to braid it down a couple more times. About like 2-3 times. Honestly, it just depends on how much hair you want per braid. Like I said, I was doing like 6-7, but once I got towards like the front of my hair, I was adding like 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's just up to you and what you want to do basically. And I don't know if any of y'all have soft spots like I do. My soft spots are around my hairline. So I made sure to have all my edges out before I started braiding, because if I had those edges in, it would hurt the entire style, and I just can't have that. Also, you're not seeing me actually put that braiding gel on my hair. That's because I did it when I pre-parted each and every braid. I did actually end up adding a little bit once I got towards the end of my braids, just because I wanted to make sure that the ends of my hair were actually touched at the end. Now I'm just gonna show you some more of how I start and just do the braids with adding the hair and everything before I show you more about how I end the braids and how I add hair to have those curly ends. Now we're rounding towards like the end of my natural hair, so this is exactly when I start to add the braiding hair. And instead of keeping it out of the braid, I just keep it inside the braid, if it makes sense. So what I do is I add that braiding hair, I put it in between the second and first piece of hair, and then I braid it in. Like I said, nothing is coming out and keeping all of that added hair in. Put it down a couple times before I add in another piece of added hair. Also do keep out a little bit of human hair towards the end of it because I just want it to flow, you know, cohesively in a sense before I braid it down a little bit more, and add in some more of that human hair towards the end, and then just continue braiding it down. Really the key is to make sure when you're braiding down, you have enough hair in all three sides. It's okay to borrow when she gets like towards the end of the braid really, but I want to make sure that when I'm adding that hair in, that each piece of the braid has enough human hair to it to have a nice look. Then I just braid it down until it's past my actual hair before I tie a knot to it. And at first what I was doing was taking one side of the braid and using that to wrap around and tie the knot around the braid. But as I started to do it more and more, I actually started to take hair from the middle of the braid, like the middle piece of the braid, a small piece, and do that, and I'll double knot it twice and make sure it's nice and secure. Pull it tight if you have to so that it won't go nowhere. So I'm actually back here the next day, and the hair does look a lot different, and that's because I put my hair in 2 braids to go to sleep, but I never put the foam on my hair, so that's what I'm doing now. I definitely did go a little too overboard with it, so I did it like all along the length of my hair, every side, every angle, and then I let it dry down a little bit before going in and brushing it out. So I still did want those big curls, but I just added that foam along my length just for like my actual hair that was in those braids. Then it's time to do my edges, my favorite part. I did my edges with this edge fixer and just swooped them down. I don't know if you guys want an edge tutorial, but it's kind of self-explanatory. However you want to do your edges, how you do your edges, and I left out enough, so I had a lot of room to do what I wanted to do. And this is how the hair came out. Super, super cute, super pretty. Love it. And let's just go to how my hair looked a week later. And this is my hair a week later. She still looks super, super good. I haven't really had any issues with tangling, and that's just because I sleep in my hair in 2 braids every night. So if I was to like just keep my hair like this around the bonnet, I'll have tangles. But I literally braid, put my long like braid bonnet on, and it's fine. I don't have any complaints about the hair. Actually, I have one complaint. My only complaint is that I wish the hair was pre-separated, because that's what took the longest time, separating this hair. Other than that, I have no other complaints. Loving this hair, and I'll be doing a braid hairstyle lookbook video soon. Comment below if you guys want to see that. I was thinking like maybe like recreating Serena's hairstyles from Love Island, because she is, love her hair. She never missed. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, comment below some other videos you guys would like to see from me. It doesn't have to just be hair. It could be like, you know, vlogs. It can be influencer things. It can be makeup things, skincare things, whatever you want to see. Let me know down below and I'll get to it. So thank you guys for watching. Love y'all. See you guys next week.